Good afternoon, students. Last class we saw till chlorine, their preparation properties and uses. That is till group 17. We started with group 17 and we saw the preparation properties and uses of few group 17 compounds. Today we are going to continue with that. Hydrochloric acid from group 17 compound is hydrochloric acid, because group 17 was what? Halogens. So hydrochloric acid means chlorine is halogen. A compound of chlorine, one major compound of chlorine is hydrochloric acid, which is HCl, and we use it very regularly. And this hydrochloric acid is also produced inside our body in stomach. It is stomach fluid, we say. So its preparation in laboratory. So how it is prepared? So it is prepared with sodium chloride treating with sulfuric acid to give sodium bisulfate and hydrochloric acid. And also you can use that same sodium bisulfate and react with sodium chloride to give sodium sulfate and hydrochloric acid. And dry hydrochloric acid is obtained by passing the gas through the concentrated sulfuric acid. What is dry hydrochloric acid? Removing the water molecules or moisture content present inside that hydrochloric gas, we call it as dry hydrochloric acid. So why we are using concentrated sulfuric acid to prepare dry hydrochloric acid? Because sulfuric acid is an concentrated sulfuric acid is an dehydrating agent. Then its properties. Hydrogen chloride is a colorless, pungent smelling, easy liquefied to a colorless liquid and frozen into a white crystalline solid. So it is colorless, pungent smelling gas, and it can be easily liquefied to a colorless liquid. That is, its boiling point is 189 Kelvin, and it's frozen into a white crystalline solid whose melting point is 159 Kelvin, and they are extremely soluble in water. So generally we can dilute this hydrochloric, concentrated into and dilute one, since they are extremely soluble in water. So when they are dissolved in water, hydrochloric acid, when dissolved in water, they give hydronium ion and chloride ion. So their chemical properties, they generally react with the metals. That is, they liberate hydrogen. From metals and carbon dioxide, it forms carbonates. So with metals, they liberate hydrogen gas. With carbon dioxide, it forms carbonates. So if you can see sodium carbonate, third equation, if you see sodium carbonate, if you see there, it has liberated carbon dioxide. Whereas the first two equations, zinc and magnesium, along with that hydrochloric acid has reacted to give the salt, respective salt and hydrogen gas has been liberated, and it liberates sulfur dioxide from sodium sulfite. So Na2SO3 is sodium sulfite. It reacts with the hydrochloric acid to give sodium chloride, water and sulfur dioxide. When 3 parts of concentrated hydrochloric acid and 1 part of concentrated nitric acid, which is in the ratio of 3:1, so 3 ml of or 3 liters, any measurement if you are taking means the same to that 1 liter of nitric acid. If you are taking concentrated acid, if you are taking means, you will get a mixture called aqua regia, which is dilute, so which is a royal water. So this is highly concentrated one. Why they are used is, they are used for dissolving gold and platinum to remove the impurities. Next is, the equation is given here, you can see all the impurities will be removed, so that you will get the salt of that particular element. Uses of hydrochloric acid. They are used in the manufacture of chlorine, ammonium chloride and glucose from cornstarch, and they are used in the extraction of glue from bones. So from bones, glue will be removed, for which hydrochloric acid is used for the extraction, and also in the purification of bone black. What are the trends in physical and chemical properties of hydrogen halides? So first is their preparation. Direct combination is a useful mean of preparing hydrogen chloride. The reaction between hydrogen and fluorine is violent, while the reaction between hydrogen and bromine or hydrogen or iodine are reversible and don't produce pure form. So what they are saying, the reaction between hydrogen and fluorine is violent, first you have to remember, and the reaction between hydrogen and bromine or hydrogen or iodine are reversible. So hydrogen iodide can be again made into hydrogen and iodine, so they can be brought back into the original reactants after the formation of product, and they don't produce the pure forms. So this is the preparation. So what is the displacement reaction? Concentrated sulfuric acid displaces hydrogen chloride from ionic chlorides. At higher temperatures, the hydrogen sulfide formed react with further ionic chloride. At higher temperatures, what happens? The hydrogen sulfide which is formed will react with further ionic chloride, and this is called displacement, and displacement can be used for the preparation of hydrogen fluorides from ionic fluorides. Hydrogen bromide and hydrogen iodide are oxidized by concentrated sulfuric acid and can't be prepared in this method. And this displacement, why they are useful is they are useful in the preparation of hydrogen fluoride from ionic fluorides, and hydrogen bromide and hydrogen iodide are oxidized by concentrated sulfuric acid and they can't be prepared in this method. Okay, so next is hydrolysis of phosphorus trihalide. So any halide, trihalide means PX3 they have given, no, phosphorus trihalide. So on reaction with water, so that is what hydrolysis. So you will get phosphorus trihalides except phosphorus trifluoride. We have to add in drops to water so that you will get phosphoric acid. Okay. Hydrogen bromide may be obtained by adding bromine dropwise to a paste of red phosphorus and water, while hydrogen iodide is conveniently produced by adding water dropwise to a mixture of red phosphorus and iodine. So which means hydrogen bromide, how we are preparing HBr, by adding bromine water you have to add dropwise to a red phosphorus you have to add, and while hydrogen iodide is conveniently produced by adding water dropwise to a mixture of red phosphorus and iodine, so that you will get hydrogen bromide or hydrogen iodide in either way. Any halogen vapors which escapes with the hydrogen halide is removed by passing the gases through a column of moistened red phosphorus. From covalent hydrides, hydrogens are reduced by hydrogen halide by hydrogen sulfide. So hydrogen sulfide I use panni halides reduce pannalam. Halogens you can reduce it. Reduce means what? You can add hydrogen to them. So hydrogen sulfide use panna, you will get a hydrogen halide. Hydrogen chloride is obtained as a byproduct of the reaction between hydrocarbon and halogen. Okay, so these are the general properties. The bond dissociation enthalpy for HF, hydrochloric acid, hydrogen bromide, HI, it is given. Why it is more for HF? Because fluorine is highly electronegative, so it is difficult to break that bond. Then chlorine, then bromine, then iodine. Then ionic character is given the same. Since fluorine is highly electronegative, the ionic character percentage is also greater for HF. In the line with the decreasing bond dissociation enthalpy, the thermal stability of hydrogen halide decreases from fluoride to iodide. For example, HI, that is hydrogen iodide, decomposes at 400 degrees Celsius, while hydrogen fluoride and hydrogen chloride are stable at this temperature. At room temperature, hydrogen halides are gases, but a hydrogen fluoride can be readily liquefied. The gases are colorless, but with moist air, it gives white fumes due to the production of droplets of hydrohalic acid. In HF, due to the presence of strong hydrogen bond, it has high melting and boiling points. This effect is absent in the hydrogen halide. Next is acidic property. So acidic property means what? It should donate an H plus ion. So hydrogen halides are extremely soluble in water. They are highly ionizable. So HX, it readily donates H plus ion to water molecule to form hydronium ion. So solutions of hydrogen halides are therefore acidic and they are known as hydrohalic acid. So hydrochloric acid, hydrobromic, hydroiodic acids are almost completely ionized and are therefore strong acids, but HF is a weak acid, that is 0.1 millimole of solution is only 10% ionized. So HF is highly weak, but 5 molar and 15 mole solution of HF is stronger acid due to the equilibrium. And next, at higher concentrations, the equilibrium involves the removal of hydrogen fluorides, that is fluoride ions, that is important, and since it affects the dissociation of HF and increases the hydrogen ion concentration, which are several stable salts, and sodium bifluoride, potassium bifluoride, all these are very commonly known, and the other hydrogen halides do not form hydrogen trihalides. Hydrohalic acid shows typical acidic properties and they form salt with acid base and reacts with metals to give hydrogen. Moist hydrofluoric acid rapidly react with silica and glass. So it is given silica and sodium silicate is given, they react readily to give the corresponding silicon tetrafluoride, sodium silicate, fluoride, all that will be formed. Oxidation, hydrogen iodide is readily oxidized to iodine, hence it is a reducing agent. An acidic solution of iodide is readily oxidized, and a positive result of this will be shown by liberation of iodine, which gives a blue-black coloration with starch. And hydrogen bromide is more difficult to oxidize than hydrogen iodide because it reduces slowly with sulfuric acid, where it will be converted into sulfur dioxide. But HI will do that rapidly because it will not form SO2, instead it will form hydrogen sulfide. And the reducing property of hydrogen iodide can be explained by using the reaction with alcohols to ethane. It converts nitric acid into nitrous acid and dinitrogen dioxide into ammonium. And hydrogen chloride is unaffected by concentrated sulfuric acid but affected only with oxidizing agent like manganese dioxide and potassium permanganate and potassium chloride. So all over the complete trend, whatever we have discussed, they have put in this table. What is the reactivity of hydrogen with halogen? So it decreases from fluorine to iodine. So fluorine to iodine lerந்து இது கம்மி ஆயிட்டே வரும். fluorine க்கு அதிகமா இருக்கும், iodine க்கு ரொம்ப கம்மியா இருக்கும். Stability decreases from Hi to H, that is from first top to bottom it decreases. And volatility of the hydrides, it increases from top to bottom, and thermal stability decreases top to bottom, boiling point increases top to bottom, and acid strength it increases from top to bottom. So the table, if you remember, means it will be very helpful for you. And moving on to the next topic, interhalogen compounds. Interhalogen, we have two terms, inter and intra. Inter means within the same type, intra means two different types. So inter means what? Within the halogen itself, the halogen will combine with another halogen to form an interhalogen compound. So if you can see in the table, chlorine and fluorine, they have joined together, bromine and fluorine, iodine and fluorine, bromine and fluorine, iodine and fluorine, all this they have given. Then their properties, the central atom will be the larger one, so it can be formed only between two halogens. So very important thing, you cannot take three or more halogens to form interhalogen compounds. You can take only two halogens, not more than two halogens we can take for this preparation of interhalogen compounds. And fluorine cannot act because it is the very smallest one, it cannot act as a central metal atom, and due to the high electronegativity with small size, so fluorine helps the central atom to attain high coordination number, and they can undergo the autoionization. So autoionization means this by themselves they will get ionized, and they are strong oxidizing agents also. And what are their reaction with alkali? So when they react with alkali, they will be heated so that larger halogens they form oxyhalogen, and then smaller they will form halides. Structure of interhalogen compounds depending upon their hybridization based on the VSEPR theory it is given. So we will see what is VSEPR theory in the 5th chapter. So if it is AX type, it will be linear, so that it is sp3 hybridized. AX3 type means it is T-shaped, sp3d hybridized. AX5 type means square pyramidal, sp3d2. Their lone pair and bond pairs are also given. AX7 is pentagonal bipyramidal, sp3d3 hybridized. So again important for objectives. And what are the oxides of halogen? So fluorine reacts readily with oxygen and forms difluorine oxide, and difluorine dioxide where also it forms, and where it has -1 oxidation state. F2O2 will have a -1 oxidation state. Other halogens they do not react with oxygen readily, but the following oxides can be prepared by some indirect methods. Except fluorine, all the other halogens have positive oxidation state. You can see here oxidation state of fluorine, it is not there, it is negative oxidation state. OF2, O2F2, O4F2, all the a fluorine in these molecules, the fluorine oxidation state is -1 only. So this is again book back question only. And chlorine, all the chlorine will have positive, iodine is also having positive oxidation state. And their oxo acids of halogen, if you see, chlorine forms 4 types of oxo acids like hypochlorous, chlorous, chloric acid and perchloric acid. Bromine and iodine also forms the similar axis except the halous, that is in the bromous acid no form pannadu. However, fluorine may only form hypofluoric acid. The oxidizing power of oxo acid, it is given for it is for hypohalous acid, it is greater than halous acid is greater than halic acid and perhalic acid. So their oxidation state, it is given for the for the respective halogen. For fluorine, chlorine, bromine and iodine, it is given. So you just go through that table. And group 18, inert gases. So moving on to the last group of this P block elements, group 18, we all know inert gases. Their occurrence, they are generally present in atmosphere. And if you move along the noble gas elements, their atomic radius and boiling point increases. So we are coming to their physical properties. So what happens? Their atomic radius and boiling point increases from helium to radon. That is from top to bottom, the atomic size and the boiling point is increasing. The first ionization energy decreases from helium to radon. The noble gases have the largest ionization energy compared to any other elements in a given row, as they have completely filled orbital. So they have the largest ionization energy compared to other elements because they are having the completely filled inner orbital and the outermost shell is completely filled. They are extremely stable and they have small tendency to gain or lose electrons. The most common physical properties of group 18 element is listed. All are gases. Their atomic numbers are here, their isotopes are here, their atomic masses, electronic configuration, atomic radius, density, melting point is decreasing, melting point is increasing, boiling point is also increasing. So what are the properties? So they are generally physical properties. If you see, they are monoatomic always. They will not be representing as Ar2, He2. They are always Ar, argon, helium only. They are monoatomic, odorless, colorless, tasteless and non-inflammable. They are highly unreactive. Since they are completely filled, they are unreactive. They are non-metallic in nature. Then their chemical properties, only the xenon and krypton show some chemical properties. Xenon fluoride are prepared by direct reaction of xenon and fluorine under different conditions, like in the presence of nickel and at 400 degrees Celsius, nickel and acetone at 400 degrees Celsius, nickel at 200 atmosphere and to 400 degrees Celsius. You will get xenon difluoride, tetrafluoride and hexafluoride. And also it can also be reacted with quartz, sealed quartz. It is SiO2 to produce XeOF4, and also it reacts with the SiO2. So XeOF4, which is produced, again reacts with the quartz to give the different products here. On hydrolysis with water, it will give you xenon oxide. And when xenon hexafluoride reacts with 2.5 molar solution of sodium hydroxide and sodium perxanthate is obtained, that is Na4XeO6 will be formed. And sodium perxenate is very much known for its strong oxidizing property. For example, it oxidizes manganese 2 into permanganate ion even in the absence of catalyst. Xenon reacts with the platinum hexafluoride and gave an orange yellow solid, that is xenon hexafluoroplatinate, and this is insoluble in carbon tetrachloride. And xenon difluoride formed addition compounds like this, like tin pentafluoride, tantalum pentafluoride, and xenon hexafluoride forms compounds with boron and alkali metals like boron trifluoride and any other metal like alkali metals. M could be any alkali metal. It forms the addition products. There is some evidence for the existence of xenon dichloride also, but they are not sure about it, but evidences are there. Krypton forms krypton difluoride and electric discharge is passed through krypton and fluorine at 183 degrees Celsius, and gases are irradiated with tin pentafluoride in the forms of KrF2, that is krypton difluoride and tin trifluoride. Next is their structure again. Xenon fluoride is linear, xenon tetrafluoride is square planar, hexafluoride is distorted octahedron, xenon oxo difluoride is T-shaped, xenon oxo tetrafluoride is square pyramidal, xenon oxide is pyramidal. So they are hybridization. So hybridization you no need to worry. sp3d2 means there are only two possibilities that we will check in 5th lesson, so that will be easy to identify. Moving on to the uses of noble gases, they are having more practical uses. Like first, helium, if you take, they are very commonly used and mixed with helium is mixed with oxygen, which is used by the divers in place of air oxygen mixture, and this prevents the painful dangerous condition called bends. And helium is used to provide inert atmosphere in electric arc welding of metals, and helium has lowest boiling point, hence used in cryogenics. It is much less denser than air and hence used for filling air balloons. And next is neon. Neon is used in advertisement as neon signs, and brilliant red glow is caused by passing electric current through neon gas under low pressure. So all these are very simple, you just have to find the meaning and go through it. Argon, like in bulbs, a filament of bulbs, krypton and fluorescent bulbs and flash bulbs, and the lamps filled with krypton are used in airports as approaching lights as they penetrate through dense fog. And xenon, it is used in fluorescent bulbs, flash bulbs and lasers, and xenon emits intense light and discharge tube instantly. So due to its high speed, electric flash bulbs are used in photographs la use பண்றாங்க. And radon is radioactive and used as a source of gamma rays, and radon gas is sealed as small capsules and implanted in the body to destroy the malignant of the cancer growth. So it is very important. So useful uses are there, go through, try to find more uses of this noble gases and do your assignment and submit on time. With this we are completing this third chapter. The same you will be having for your monthly test also. Next, after your test or in the next class, we will be starting the new chapter. Thank you.